All right, getting ready for a store detective interview. We're taking a deep dive into RoleCatcher's resources to help you absolutely nail it. We've got guides on career overviews, interview tips, all that good stuff. Consider this your cheat sheet for success. Get ready for the inside scoop on what those hiring managers are really looking for and how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a serious edge.
You know what I think is really cool about RoleCatcher? They don't just scratch the surface.
Yeah.
They've gone deep, analyzing tons of data to pinpoint those skills and qualities that make a store detective really stand out, the ones that make them truly successful.
Like they've cracked the code,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So before we jump into the nitty-gritty of those interview questions,
Yeah.
let's set the stage. What does this role really entail? It's got to be more than just catching shoplifters red-handed, right?
Oh, absolutely. Think surveillance, investigations, working hand in hand with law enforcement, and navigating those legal complexities. And hold on to your hats because technology is changing the game big time. We're talking surveillance cameras, electronic tagging. It's a far cry from that old school security guard image.
And speaking of changing the game, RoleCatcher's AI can really help you tailor your responses to each specific job, like having a personalized coach in your pocket.
You got it.
But before we get there, let's tackle those interview questions. They've compiled a list of 10 common ones, and we're going to break them down one by one.
I love that. These questions are designed to uncover those hidden gems, the skills and qualities that really set you apart from the crowd.
Right.
Once you get what they're looking for, you can fine-tune your answers to make you shine.
Okay, so question number one.
All right, hit me.
Can you describe your experience working in loss prevention? Now, what if you don't have direct experience with that specific title? What then?
Ah, that's where things get interesting. Even if you haven't held that exact title, think back to times when you had to be super observant. Maybe in a customer service role, or even just in everyday life. There are always examples.
That's a good point. RoleCatcher sample answer mentioned things like noticing patterns and irregularities, which can translate really well. Have you ever had to do something similar?
Oh, tons of times.
Yeah.
Like just recently, well, let's just say my keen eye for detail might have saved a family vacation from complete disaster. But the point is, it's all about showcasing those abilities to observe and analyze, even in those everyday situations that might seem ordinary.
Absolutely. Okay, question number two. How do you handle high-pressure situations? Now, that feels super relevant for a store detective. What are they really digging for with this one?
Well, they want to see that you can stay cool under pressure, that you can make smart decisions when things get a little intense.
Right.
Think back to a time when you faced a tough challenge, maybe a difficult customer interaction, or a sudden deadline that came out of nowhere. How did you stay focused and pull through to resolve that situation?
They love concrete examples. Anyone can say, oh yeah, I'm calm under pressure. But a good story really makes it real.
It paints a picture.
Exactly. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI comes into play.
Yes,
It can help you tailor those answers based on the specific job description, right?
that's it. It analyzes the language they're using, the skills they're emphasizing, and helps you craft those responses that really hit the mark.
Okay, on to question number three. Can you describe your knowledge of criminal law? Now, that one can feel pretty intimidating. Does this mean you need to be a full-blown legal expert to even apply?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
But having a basic understanding of laws related to things like theft, fraud, and apprehension, that's definitely key.
Sure.
Have you had any personal experience in this area, maybe some personal research, or even a relevant online course that you took? Those can show real initiative.
That's a good idea. And RoleCatcher even mentioned, any training or certifications, even just reading up on recent changes in retail security laws shows you're proactive and on top of things.
Absolutely. It demonstrates that you're willing to go that extra mile beyond the bare minimum, and that speaks volumes about your interest in the field.
Shows real commitment, too. Okay, question number four is an interesting one. How do you balance customer service with loss prevention? Now, that feels like walking a tightrope.
It is. It's finding that sweet spot. You need to protect the store's assets, of course, but also provide a positive customer experience.
Right.
How do you do both? Well, think about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer, maybe someone who was really upset or demanding. How did you navigate that situation while staying professional and respectful?
Because RoleCatcher's sample answer really highlighted de-escalation. Even if you suspect someone of shoplifting, you have to be approachable and respectful. What does that look like in practice?
It's all about finding that balance between being assertive but also empathetic, Communicating clearly, setting boundaries, and remaining calm, even when you're dealing with challenging behavior. It's not always easy, but it's a crucial skill.
Okay, moving on to question number 5. Can you describe your experience with CCTV monitoring?
Mm.
Now, this one might seem straightforward, but I'm guessing there are some subtle nuances here.
Oh, definitely. If you have experience, highlight your ability to spot suspicious behavior quickly, your comfort using relevant software, and your multitasking skills. Those are all important. But even if your experience isn't directly in security, you can still draw on those transferable skills, connect the dots.
Absolutely. Like attention to detail, pattern recognition. RoleCatcher even mentioned that even analyzing data or reviewing footage for other purposes, those can all be relevant.
Yeah.
How would you connect those dots for someone who might not have that direct security background?
I think it's all about highlighting that analytical mindset, right? So maybe you've had to spot errors in data entry or analyze trends in customer behavior.
Hmm.
Whatever it is, it's about framing those experiences to demonstrate that you can observe, analyze, and draw conclusions, those core skills they're looking for.
And that's where the AI feedback from RoleCatcher can be really, really helpful, right?
Yeah.
Because it can highlight connections that you might not have even thought of.
Absolutely. It can open your eyes to new possibilities.
Okay, let's tackle question number 6. How do you approach apprehending a shoplifter? This feels like the moment of truth. What's the key to answering this effectively?
This question is all about showcasing that you truly understand the gravity of the situation. You have to act decisively, following those legal procedures, and always putting safety first, both your own safety and the safety of the suspected shoplifter.
And RoleCatcher emphasizes de-escalation here once again, using appropriate force only when absolutely necessary and following all protocols for detention. What are some of the pitfalls to avoid when answering this question? Like, what would be a red flag for a hiring manager?
I'd say one common mistake is coming across as overly aggressive or eager to use force. Remember, apprehending a shoplifter, that's a last resort. It's not something to take lightly.
Right.
Focus on demonstrating your ability to assess the situation, communicate effectively, and de-escalate whenever possible.
And they mentioned training in conflict resolution or self-defense, which shows that you're prepared, that you're responsible. Have you had any experience in those areas?
Yeah, I have, and it's been invaluable.
Interesting.
It's not just about those physical techniques, it's about understanding human behavior, recognizing the signs of potential aggression, and knowing how to diffuse a situation that could become volatile. It's about preventing things from escalating whenever possible.
I bet that training gives you a solid foundation for handling those high-pressure moments and that confidence that's going to shine through in your interview.
It definitely does. It's about demonstrating that you're not just capable, but also responsible and truly committed to everyone's safety.
All right, on to question number 7. Can you describe your experience working with law enforcement? Now, not everyone will have had that direct experience, so how can you approach this one if you haven't worked directly with law enforcement in the past?
Even without that direct collaboration, you can highlight your understanding of their role, how crucial it is, and your willingness to cooperate fully. Think about any interactions you've had, maybe filing a police report or witnessing an investigation. Even those smaller interactions can show familiarity with the process.
And RoleCatcher suggested mentioning volunteer experience or training related to security or law enforcement, anything that shows that genuine interest, that you're really drawn to this field.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that this isn't just a job to you, it's a career path, something you're actively pursuing.
Okay, question number 8. How do you stay up to date on industry trends and best practices? This is all about showcasing that commitment to continuous learning. Right.
Absolutely. It's about showing that you're not content with just the status quo. You're constantly looking to improve, expand your knowledge and skills, and stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. So what are some good resources that someone could mention? RoleCatcher talked about industry publications, online forums, professional organizations.
Oh, those are all fantastic options. And let's not forget about training programs and certifications. Those demonstrate a tangible commitment to your professional growth.
And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
Right, for sure.
It can point you towards specific resources, suggest training programs tailored to the job you're going after.
It's like having a personalized curriculum, ensuring you're focusing on the skills and knowledge that are most in demand.
2 more to go. Question number 9. Can you describe your experience with data analysis? Now, that one might seem a little unexpected for some. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, data analysis is becoming increasingly important for store detectives, no doubt about it. Think about it. analyzing sales patterns, identifying those high-risk areas, tracking theft trends. It's all about using data to make smarter decisions.
And RoleCatcher pointed out that even those basic spreadsheet skills can be valuable here.
For sure.
It's all about being able to organize information and interpret it.
And if you happen to have experience with more advanced software or those really cool analytical techniques, highlight those too. It shows you can go beyond the basics, delve into the data, and uncover those really valuable insights.
Absolutely. All right, final question, number 10. Can you describe your experience conducting investigations? This feels like a culmination of all those previous skills we've talked about. What's the best way to approach this one?
Well, here they really want to see if you can put all the pieces together. Your observation skills, evidence gathering, interviewing, that all-important critical thinking, it all comes into play.
RoleCatcher suggested structuring your answer like a mini case study, briefly describing a situation where you had to investigate something.
That's a great approach.
Even if it wasn't directly related to security or law enforcement.
Right. It's about the process. Focus on the steps you took, the challenges you encountered along the way, and ultimately the outcome, how it all played out. It's about showcasing that process, your ability to think analytically.
So even if you've never officially conducted what you would call a formal investigation, you can still draw on those relevant experiences, right?
I think definitely.
Maybe you had to research a complex topic for a project or solve a problem at work that required you to gather information.
Exactly. It's about shining a light on those transferable skills, showcasing your ability to think critically and solve problems. Those are skills that translate across so many different fields.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground here. 10 tough interview questions, broken down and demystified. But prepping for those questions, that's only half the battle, right?
You're absolutely right. RoleCatcher also stresses how important it is to use those AI-powered tools they offer to truly fine-tune your answers. It's about going beyond those generic responses and really crafting something that resonates with that specific job you're after.
It's like having a secret weapon that helps you emphasize your strengths and address those potential weaknesses before you even hit submit.
It's about taking control and putting your best foot forward.
And the AI magic doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher's Copilot, that can help you tailor your cover letter, answer those application questions, even practice your interview answers with AI-powered feedback.
Talk about having a personalized coach every step of the way.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on RoleCatcher's career guides for a minute. They really break down the store detective role in detail, outlining responsibilities, skills, those potential career paths, and even giving you real-world examples of store detectives at different stages of their careers.
They're a goldmine of information. They give you these fantastic insights into industry trends, those advancement opportunities, even the pros and cons of the job.
It's about being informed, making sure it's the right fit for you, so you're not going into this blind.
Exactly. You've got a roadmap, a sense of what to expect and how to prepare.
That preparation is key, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Take the time to do your homework, research the role, really tailor those answers, and practice your delivery. With RoleCatcher in your corner, you're setting yourself up for success.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive deeper into those career paths and all those fascinating insights from RoleCatcher's guides.
You know, as I was going through RoleCatcher's career guide, something really struck me. They outline this typical career path for a store detective, and it's actually quite structured, which I found really reassuring.
Interesting. So it's not just like a one-size-fits-all kind of role.
Exactly.
There's actual room for growth, for specialization.
That's it. They break it down into 3 main stages.
Okay.
Entry-level, junior, and then senior store detective. Each stage has its own set of responsibilities and expectations. So it gives you a clear picture of how your role might evolve as you gain experience.
Love that. Okay, let's unpack these stages. So what does an entry-level store detective, what do they typically do?
So think of it as building that solid foundation. You'll be monitoring CCTV, doing those floor patrols, assisting with apprehensions when needed, writing those detailed incident reports, getting that hands-on experience.
Getting your feet wet, learning the ropes. RoleCatcher also includes those real-world profiles of actual store detectives, right?
Yes.
Like people who are actually out there doing this.
Real people, real stories. And the entry-level profile, I thought this was interesting. They highlighted some key skills.
Okay, like what?
Keen observation, obviously clear communication, and that ability to work effectively as part of a team.
Gotcha. Those are transferable skills, too.
Absolutely.
That anyone can start working on right now, even before you land the job.
Exactly. It's about paying attention, communicating clearly,
Mm-hmm.
being a good team player.
Right. Those are valuable anywhere.
And speaking of teamwork, as you move up to that junior store detective level,
Yeah.
you'll start taking on more responsibility, get involved in more complex tasks.
What kind of responsibilities are we talking? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, you'll be conducting more in-depth investigations, collaborating more closely with law enforcement.
Oh.
You might even find yourself training those entry-level colleagues, kind of passing on what you've learned.
I love that. Mentorship, that's such a rewarding part of any job.
It is.
And I know RoleCatcher's junior store detective profile, they mentioned some additional skills that become really crucial at this stage, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So analytical skills definitely become more and more important, as does your technical expertise with those surveillance systems.
So you really got to know the tech.
Got to be tech savvy. It's about taking that initial experience and building on it, becoming a more valuable asset to the team.
So you're not just reacting to situations anymore. You're starting to analyze patterns, maybe anticipate some of those potential problems, really contributing to that overall security strategy.
You're getting proactive. And that leads us to the top tier, the senior store detective. This is where you become a true leader in the field, overseeing that entire loss prevention program for the store.
Wow, now that is a big responsibility. What kind of skills and qualities would you say are essential to reach that level?
Well, the senior store detective profile, they highlighted things like expertise in strategy development, team leadership, building those strong relationships with law enforcement, and of course, that all-important commitment to staying ahead of the curve, those industry trends. You gotta know what's coming next.
So you need that mix of strategic thinking, leadership skills, and that constant drive to keep learning and evolving.
You got it. It's about seeing that big picture, inspiring your team, and making a real impact on the organization's security and overall success.
Really making a difference. Okay, I got to ask, did any of those real-world profiles really stand out to you? Anyone who really caught your eye?
You know, there was this one senior store detective who shared this amazing story about how she completely revamped the store's security protocols using data analysis.
Oh, yeah.
She identified those high-risk areas, those peak times when things were happening. She optimized staffing levels, implemented new training programs, all based on that data, those insights.
That's amazing. Talk about making a real impact.
Real results.
It also shows how technology and data analysis, how that's really transforming this role, the role of a store detective.
It's not just about gut instinct anymore.
Right.
It's about using that data to make smart decisions and develop those really effective strategies.
So powerful. What I find really helpful about those career stages, those different levels, is that they give you that roadmap, that sense of direction.
It's like a guide.
You can see where you might start, where you can go, the steps you need to take to get there.
And it's not just about climbing the ladder, you know? Maybe you discover that you have a passion for training, or you really excel at data analysis. These insights can help you specialize, find that niche that really suits you.
Carve out your own path.
Exactly.
So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to level up in your career, RoleCatcher's career guides, they provide those valuable insights and that guidance you need.
They do. And let's not forget about those AI-powered tools, which can help you every step of the way.
Oh yeah, those are game changers.
From tailoring your CV, your cover letter, practicing your interview answers, it's like having a personalized coach in your corner. It's all about maximizing your potential and turning that interview into a job offer.
Absolutely. Now, I know we've talked a lot about the practical side of things.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher also had some interesting insights about the educational background of most store detectives.
They did. It was fascinating. I was surprised to learn that the average highest level of education attained is a bachelor's degree.
Really? That's higher than I would have guessed.
I know.
It really challenges that assumption that this is just a security guard type role.
It does.
Clearly, employers are looking for candidates with a solid educational foundation.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it.
Right.
The complex skills involved, critical thinking, that data analysis, legal knowledge, you don't just pick those up overnight.
It's a more advanced role than people might realize.
It really is.
And it also suggests that there's room for growth within the field.
Oh, yeah.
Having a degree, that could open doors to those advancement opportunities or maybe even those specialized roles within loss prevention.
It's about setting yourself apart.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that continuous learning is key, whether it's formal education, certifications, or just staying curious.
Oh, always learn.
Keeping up with those industry trends.
That's it.
Speaking of staying curious, RoleCatcher had another little nugget of wisdom that I found really interesting.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
They emphasize the importance of showcasing your capabilities. specifically through a portfolio.
A portfolio for a store detective.
I know, I was intrigued too.
What would that even look like?
Well, they suggested things like, highlighting successful cases where you prevented or detected shoplifting,
Okay.
and focusing on the legal steps you took, the positive outcomes you achieved, really showcasing those wins.
That's a brilliant idea. It's a way to show, not just tell, what you're capable of.
Exactly.
Especially for someone with limited direct experience, a portfolio like that
Yeah.
could be a powerful way to demonstrate those skills, that potential.
It's about going above and beyond, that extra mile to stand out.
Making an impression.
And it's a great way to practice, too.
Absolutely.
Articulating your thought process.
Yeah.
The actions you took.
In a clear, concise way.
Which is so important for those interview questions.
You gotta be able to tell your story.
And on top of building that portfolio, RoleCatcher also highlighted the power of networking.
Ah, networking. Can't forget about that.
It's so valuable, especially in a field like this. They suggested things like attending security industry events, joining professional organizations, connecting with people on LinkedIn.
It's about building those relationships, learning from others who are already out there doing the work.
And you never know what opportunities might come from those connections.
It's all about who you know.
Here's a bonus tip for when you're networking.
Okay, I'm listening.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Oh, for sure.
People, they love to share their experience, their insights.
It's flattering.
And you can learn so much.
So you've got your portfolio all polished up, you're networking like a pro,
Yeah.
and you're armed with RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools. What else could you possibly need to conquer that interview?
Well, there's one final piece of the puzzle that we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, what's that?
Mindset.
Mindset is everything.
It really is. Walk into that interview with confidence, enthusiasm,
Yeah.
a genuine desire to learn. Show them you're not just looking for a job.
Right.
You're looking for a career where you can make a real difference.
I love that. It's about shifting your perspective
Mhm.
from I need this job to I can bring real value to this company.
Yeah. And remember, an interview is a two-way street.
That's so true.
It's a chance for you to figure out if this is the right fit for you too.
Absolutely.
Ask those thoughtful questions, really engage in that conversation, and show them you're genuinely interested in the role and the company as a whole.
It's about finding that perfect match.
Yes.
Where both you and the employer, you're both excited about the possibilities.
And speaking of possibilities, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI tools for just a minute because they offer a subscription called Copilot. And I'm fascinated by this.
Copilot. I love it.
It takes personalization to a whole new level.
It does. Copilot's all about tailoring your application materials, your interview prep for each specific job you're going after.
It really hones in on those details.
It analyzes the actual job description,
Wow.
identifies those keywords, and suggests ways you can weave those into your answers authentically, so you're not just spitting out jargon.
No.
It's about understanding what the employer is looking for and then showing how your skills and experiences really match up with their needs.
It's like having a custom-fit suit for your application.
I love that analogy.
Everything is perfectly tailored
Yes.
to make you look your absolute best.
And Copilot doesn't stop there.
What else?
It can analyze those interview practice videos, giving you feedback on your delivery, your content, everything.
Like having a personal coach giving you real-time feedback.
Exactly. Helping you refine those answers, boost your confidence.
That's so cool.
And the more you practice, the better the AI gets at understanding your strengths and weaknesses, providing even more targeted guidance.
What else can Copilot do? I'm really intrigued by all these features.
So it can also help you tailor your cover letter.
Oh, the dreaded cover letter.
Which, let's face it, can be a real game changer.
I have always struggled with writing cover letters that actually stand out.
Oh, I hear you. They can feel so generic, so impersonal sometimes. But Copilot, it takes your basic cover letter template. And it analyzes that specific job description, pulls out those key phrases, those skills they're looking for, and suggests ways you can weave those into your letter.
So it's not just about plugging in keywords.
No.
It's about crafting a story.
Exactly.
That shows you get it.
You understand the role, why you're a perfect fit.
It's like having a collaborative writing partner, you know?
Yeah.
Someone who helps you polish your ideas, make sure your message is crystal clear.
Wow, RoleCatcher's really thought of everything. And they also have tons of other resources, right? It's not just about the AI tools.
They do. Thousands of career guides, skill guides, even this massive database of employers.
Really?
It's a one-stop shop for everything job search related.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So even if you decide, you know what, store detective, maybe that's not the right fit for me, you've got tons of other options to explore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like having a whole career library at your fingertips. And here's the thing. Even if you don't end up using RoleCatcher for every single job application, the skills and insights you gain from using their platform,
Oh, yeah.
those are invaluable.
They stick with you.
You'll learn how to research roles effectively, tailor your materials, and present yourself in the best possible light.
It's an investment in your future no matter what career path you choose.
So what does this all mean for someone who's getting ready for that store detective interview?
It means they've got the resources, the insights, and those AI-powered tools to really knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
They understand the store detective role, they've got the inside scoop on those tough interview questions, and they know how RoleCatcher can give them that extra edge.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought that really stuck with me from RoleCatcher's material. They mentioned that employers can actually use RoleCatcher's platform to find candidates with the right skills.
Oh yeah, it's like flipping the script. Instead of you chasing down those opportunities,
Yeah.
they can come right to you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if you build a killer profile on RoleCatcher
Right.
and you opt in to let employers find you, they could be reaching out to you.
Exactly.
It's not just about applying and hoping for the best.
Right. You're taking charge.
You're putting yourself out there.
You're showcasing what you've got.
Letting those opportunities come knocking.
Talk about a confidence booster. Knowing that you're not just a resume lost in a pile,
Yeah.
but a proactive candidate that employers are actively searching for.
It's like having a talent agent working behind the scenes, connecting you with the right people.
It's a game changer. So to sum it all up,
Yeah.
you've got all the knowledge from those RoleCatcher guides. You've used their AI to craft those perfect answers. You've even built a portfolio and started networking.
You've done your homework.
You're ready. So what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone walking into that store detective interview? What's the secret sauce?
That's a great question.
The thing is, they've already got this, right?
They've done the work.
Put in the time.
Prepared thoroughly,
Exactly.
and they're ready to shine.
Now it's all about taking a deep breath,
Mhm.
relaxing, and letting their personality
Right.
and that passion for the role really come through.
That's such great advice. It's not just about reciting memorized answers. It's about connecting with those interviewers, showing them who you are as a person,
Absolutely.
and why this opportunity really excites you.
And remember, it's a two-way street.
It is.
An interview, it's a chance for you to get a feel for the company culture,
Yeah.
to see if this is the right place for you too.
Don't be afraid to ask those questions.
Absolutely. Engage in that conversation.
Show them you're not just looking for any job.
Right.
You're looking to be part of a team.
I love that. It's about finding that perfect fit.
Yeah.
Where you and the employer, you're both excited about what the future holds.
So there you have it. Everything you need to know to not just survive that store detective interview, but to absolutely crush it.
With the right preparation, the right tools, and of course, the right mindset. You can turn that interview into the launch pad for a successful and fulfilling career in retail security.
Now go out there and land that job.